The playoffs are here, and you can predict the action all the way to the finals with FanDuel Predicts. Predict the spread, the total points, and even the game-winning moments that make the playoffs. Sign up and get a $25 bonus with FanDuel Predicts.
Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18-plus bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with their consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus-offer-terms.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi!
Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Walter Sterling with Matias Bombal in Hollywood, the legendary film critic. Do you spell it with a Q or is it just critic?
I can barely spell. That's why I'm on radio.
It's a good point.
Good morning, Walter.
Or you can say, I'm a critique. When you go to a film festival, do they label you critique or critic?
No, I think they call me hack, but that's a whole different thing.
Horrible. What a horrible thing to call you. If anybody calls you hack, you send them to me.
All right, I'll do that. Thank you, Walter. You're always looking after me.
What are the reports from the entertainment front today, my friend?
Well, the Star Wars The Mandalorian has now managed to make $108 million since it opened. And the big surprise is the number 2 movie this week, Walter, which is Obsession, the horror movie that was made by a young director just starting out, Corey Baker. And he made this for very little money. I don't have access to his budget right now, but this thing has grossed $73.5 million, and he has in just about a week's time. And he has already been offered $10 million to direct his next feature, whatever it is. So that's pretty exciting for him. First-time director. That's Corey Baker. His movie Obsession, which is basically a horror film in which a young man, as often has, it's a cautionary tale, wishes there was some magic potion that could make the object of his obsession, the girl that he really is crazy about, just love him. Well, he gets this magic beads or whatever it is that makes it happen, and she just won't leave him alone and begins to become a terror that unends his life. So be careful what you wish for is the message of that picture. But anyway, $73.5 million in just short a few days has made it a very important movie and a $10 million offer for his next. Michael, the Michael Jackson biography, is now at $326.3 million worldwide. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And as I may have spoken about on this program this week or last, a sequel is now in the works. They're going to use some of the footage they had filmed for this movie that they couldn't use and going to reshape it into a sequel. The Devil Wears Prada 2 is now in number 4 place with $202.4 million. And the movie you like, I don't know if you've seen it yet, The Sheep's Detectives, is at $49.1 million. And people are still lining up to see The Talking Sheep to try to figure out what happened to Hugh Jackman. So that's what's going on in the box office this week.
Hugh Jackman is a shepherd who reads stories to the sheep. He gets murdered. The sheep decide to find the murderer. How can you not see this movie? Just to get through that whole idea, to see how that was brought to life, I, Walter Sterling, will be going as soon as possible. Matias, you sound very good. Is your life good? Are you enjoying things?
Well, I just drove down the Pacific Coast Highway this afternoon, and it was just stunningly beautiful.
Oh, my God.
And I was sitting there in Pacific Palisades. Matter of fact, I sent you a few photos of this gorgeous weather, and I also went up into the hills to see the devastation is still there. I mean, there's foundations of homes with staircases that go nowhere. It'll take a long time for that place to come back, almost a year and a half later. And yet some buildings along the highway have been there since the 1930s, like the old movie star Thelma Todd's Cafe. That building, built in, I think, 28 or 27, still standing on the highway where it's always been. So fire is so strange. It'll come and take one building away and the next one to it, which should have gone, doesn't. So it's nature. Just don't mess with Mother Nature. That's
it's even stranger.
Expensive lesson.
It's even stranger that people of means and the ability to get all of that rebuilt in about a month have not been allowed to. That's even stranger.
Yes. Well, California is heavily regulated in so many ways. I mean, we're paying anywhere between $6 and $7 a gallon for gas because of those kinds of regulations. And I'm sure there are many regulations and all sorts of abatement issues that are prohibiting anyone from doing anything. And of course, all along the way, someone's making a dollar, making those observations, checking those things, and getting good money for it.
On the other coast, I have a sister-in-law who has a home that has a pool and a pond. In Greenwich, Connecticut, a pond is a sign of wealth, much more so than a pool. You have both and you're really rich. And I said to her innocently about 18 months ago, are you going to ever have to have the pond dredged? And she said, yes, we're going to have the pond dredged. I said, instinctively, are there permits involved? And she said, oh, yes, there is. Well, it turns out there are many permits needed to dredge a pond. And sure enough, just like you said, there's a guy who knows all the various people in charge of all the various permits. And you pay this one guy, and then he gets all the permits for you and pays off everybody else. It's quite a hell of a system. How do we find you online, Matias?
You may find me online at Matias Bombal's Hollywood on Facebook. That's MatiasBombal ', Hollywood, just like the city. Matias Bombal's Hollywood on Facebook. Thanks so much, Walter.
Well, you're a terrific asset to the show. Thank you very much for being on The Other Side of Midnight.
Lesbians in space, 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 space. The Other Side of Midnight with Walter Sterling.
We saw two women holding hands wearing a baby. And under my breath, I went, aw, two moms to Bren. And all the way in the back of the van, one of the twins goes, lesbians!
There's Red in New Jersey. We're talking about conspiracies that you have, conspiracy theories that you have, that you wonder, why is nobody talking about this? How do I reveal this? This is your stage. You get to talk to America. You become the media. Reveal your conspiracy. You're anonymous at 800-848-9222. Red, welcome to The Other Side of Midnight.
Hey, Walter, how are you? Walter, this isn't a conspiracy, this is a fact, but people look at me and say it's a conspiracy. The naked shorting of Wall Street by 1,000 suits, that's all there is. And it's all led by a guy named Ken Griffin, who runs Citadel Securities, who also sits on the board of the DTCC and sets the rules. He has 600 LLCs under him, Jane Street, I can go on and on. All they do all day is manipulate the price of every stock except the Magnificent Seven that keeps the economy afloat. Donald Trump knows about this. The SEC knows about it. They're all in on it because it's too big to fail. It will bring the economy down. Trump lets it go on only for the fact that it would bring down the economy under his watch. I even think Donald Trump is shorting his own stock, DJT. But yet nobody talks about this. A few people, like on X, that know the financial world. Everybody knows it. Crypto's manipulated, but that's a different story. The stock market has been naked shorted. And if you understand the crime, how bad it really is, every single American is losing money. There's no free market. Your pension, everything is at risk. And it's all led by Ken Griffin, who your radio station the last couple of weeks have been portraying him to be a saint. The guy sets the rules, and he does the naked shorting with 600 LLCs. There's no stock settlement.